So the reports have circulated widely that Bill Belichick could be, oh boy, the head coach at North Carolina. Okay, couple of thoughts here. When North Carolina announced they were moving on from Mack Brown, which is something I foresaw before the season, was not surprised when it happened, I had the immediate take of, hey, you should go opposite of what you just had, which is an older guy who was great in 2005, but hasn't actually proven to be great since then on a consistent basis. Could still be good, but is definitely not great. I advocated they go the young route. Find a guy who is a Kenny Dillingham type that injects some life, that brings some juice and moxie to your program. This could be a really good job in the ACC, but it isn't. At least it hasn't looked like it so far. So when I see reports, credibly sourced, that Bill Belichick is one of the candidates for the North Carolina job, this is different, wildly different, than Jacksonville State, who won Conference USA, by the way. Jacksonville State head coach Rich Rodriguez being a candidate for the West Virginia job. That's not going back to the past and hoping you can recapture that magic. That's someone who has a past tie and is still proving capable. It is still proving that he is capable. Bill Belichick, why? What does he know about college football? How's he? Yeah, his son's a defensive coordinator at Washington. The Huskies could lose their DC, and Steve Belichick has been good schematically for the Huskies this year. They don't have the personnel all the time, so it's come back to bite them. But it's not as if he's forgotten how to call a defense. Okay, great. Being a college head coach encompasses so much more than X's and O's, and particularly when you're the head coach, it's usually, not often, not can be, it's usually about things that are not football related. It's about making the right hires. It's about connecting with donors. It's connecting with players and college kids and recruiting and the portal. He doesn't know how to do any of that. He's never done it before. He's a big name. He's of course a big name. He's the greatest coach in the history of the NFL. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying he wouldn't know how to scheme his defense. Why does Bill Belichick have an ability? One of the reasons I didn't like Mack Brown, by the way, is the recruiting results were trending down. Why is Bill Belichick going to be able to deliver better results in the talent acquisition department than Mack Brown was able to? They're the same guy. They are big names. They are in their 70s, and they haven't been great since 2005. Bill Belichick was great more recently than that. But he faded in the NFL. Lost his touch. No Brady, big problem. Doesn't mean it was all Brady, but it does go to show you, even with the greatest coach ever, who you have to play with matters. Do you think he's going to come in college recruiting and guys are just going to flock to North Carolina? You can make the NFL connection. Wouldn't be the first one to do that. Jed Fish is doing that at Washington successfully, might I add. Steve Belichick's been doing it. They're getting good recruits. They brought in some quality transfers that came with them from Arizona. But again, that NFL connection of, hey, I know what it takes to get there. I can help get you there. I know this coach and that coach, and I can get you looks here and there. That's great. That's fine for guys who know what it's like to be in college football. Guys of Bill Belichick's generation have been consistently run out of the sport because they don't want to handle these things. And Bill Belichick wants to, or he's going to hire a staff that wants to. Like, what's the connection going to be? How involved is he going to be in recruiting? What is it like to be recruited by Bill Belichick? Bill Belichick doesn't even know what it's like to be recruited. He hasn't done it I don't even know. Hold on, just a moment. I don't even remember if Bill Belichick has ever coached in college before. Colts, Lions, Broncos, Giants, Browns, Patriots, Jets, Patriots. He's never coached in college. You're going to bring in a guy who, in the league that he was dominant in for 2 decades, was fired because he wasn't good anymore, to a place that he's never been before. This has Herm Edwards written all over it. It's not as if Belichick's a super engaging guy. Yeah, he looks engaging on TV. We didn't forget what he's like in those press conferences. Like he's kind of a Scrooge, a curmudgeon, a grumbly sort of guy. You think that's going to resonate with kids nowadays? Does North Carolina have so much NIL that I'm unaware of that they're going to be able to overcome that and say, look, you may not have a great relationship with coach, but hey, we're going to give you $500,000 to play wide receiver. So come be a North Carolina Tar Heel. These kids grew up knowing who Bill Belichick is, but they are also old enough to know what happened at the end. And I don't see that working in a positive way. Going from a guy who's trying to cling to like Rich Rodriguez doesn't feel like he's trying to recapture the magic of the past, because I'm watching him coach at Jacksonville State. They went from FCS to Conference USA, and he just won a conference championship in there. Yeah, the guy can still clearly coach. Of course he interviewed at West Virginia. There's plenty of logic to bringing him back as the head coach. There is no logic, especially after the Mack Brown experiment, which clearly failed. It wasn't a disaster, but it did not go as it was supposed to. When that didn't work out, that they would go in this direction would be really surprising to me. Really surprising to me. There are so many other coaches out there that would make more sense. I would hire Dan Mullen far before I hired Bill Belichick. Being a head coach in college football is not just about X's and O's. That's why Chip Kelly left UCLA for Ohio State. He just wanted to coach football. That is why coaches leave college to go to the NFL, because they just want to coach football. Bill Belichick, you telling me he wants to do more than just coach football? He wants to be more than an X's and O's guy? I have no idea how that would work. I don't know what that interview is looking like. I don't know what that sounds. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is I'm raising a red flag and saying, no, not a good. This feels Herm Edwards to Arizona State, John Gruden to the Raiders. UCLA fans will want me to say Chip Kelly to the Bruins. He at least won football games. I mean, like, he had 2 losing seasons, then he had a couple of really good ones. They regressed a bit last year, and then he left to be offense coordinator. And what do you know? He didn't leave a lot behind. And by the way, Chip Kelly, Bill Belichick, they've traveled in similar circles before. Same sorts of guys that they're really all about X's and O's. They're not really big on recruiting and buddying up to donors and whatnot. You think Bill Belichick wants to go meet with North Carolina donors and talk to him about the football team? No, he doesn't even want to talk to the media about the football team. He doesn't want to talk to donors about it and be beholden to those folks. He wants to run the show. That's what he was doing in New England. He was the head coach. He was the general manager. You think he wants to suddenly go and have to disperse power to delegate it elsewhere? I just do not see that working out. So for the sake of North Carolina, I hope they go in a different direction. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.